great. In reality, the only thing we had in common was thinly veiled contempt for one another. If Millie could have straight up assumed my life, thereby eliminating my existence, I'm sure she would have at least seriously considered it. Quinn trailed up from behind Millie, a vision in a pale yellow chiffon cocktail dress that I couldn't have pulled off in a million years. My sense of dread multiplied tenfold, churning in my belly. One-on-one, my sister was perfectly pleasant. With Millie, the two formed the ultimate passive-aggressive duo. "There's my beautiful sister." Quinn repeated the same fake air kiss routine, enveloping me in a vanilla sugar-scented hug. It was an interesting compliment, given that we were identical twins, and especially given that she was arguably the prettier one of us two. Other people seemed to agree, though they'd never openly admit it. Her features had always seemed softer to me, more feminine, with fuller lips and bigger eyes. Not to mention, she hadn't broken her nose playing softball senior year like I had, creating a small bump on the bridge that our mother had not so subtly encouraged me to have surgically repaired. The slight discrepancy between our appearances mirrored the differences in our personalities. She was known for being warm and effusive, while I was, well, not. There was probably something to be said about the underlying theme of her dress like an angel tonight, while I was wearing black. "You look great," I told her. Quinn scoffed, waving a perfectly manicured hand. "Hardly. I look ragged." My sister couldn't accept a compliment to save her life. It went way beyond humility and well into false modesty territory. "Where's Adam?" Millie asked, craning her neck. "He had to duck out to take an important call with an investor. Not optional, unfortunately." Quinn tacked on the last sentence a little too quickly. I wasn't sure whether she was trying to convince us or herself. "What are you doing hanging out at the bar all by yourself, Thay?" "I was just getting a refill before coming to find you." False, but now I could get credit for pretending. It's not that Quinn and I had a bad relationship, at least not one-on-one, but it was strained when we were within the suffocating confines of this gilded cage. "I haven't seen your sister in ages," Millie said to Quinn, like I wasn't standing right in front of them. She turned back to me and touched me on the arm, sizing me up once more, looking for, I knew, signs of injectables, fillers, or nips and tucks. Bonus points for spotting roots or gray hair, but too bad for her. I had my balayage touched up and toned yesterday. "What have you been up to, Thayer?" she asked. Code for, why did you drop off the face of the planet? But nobody knew the answer to that, and nobody needed to. "Oh, you know," I waved airily. "I've been super busy with work. Running the 2 boutique lingerie stores, Lace and Grace, that I co-owned with Quinn, consumed most of my time. It started off as a 1 or 2 year project after college, a breather between undergraduate and graduate school for me. Quinn managed our merchandising and marketing, while I oversaw the finances and business side. The plan was for Quinn to eventually take over all the responsibilities when I headed back to school to obtain my MBA, but somehow I'd gotten sucked into staying much longer than I'd intended. At this point, I could reconcile our books in my sleep. Part of me yearned to move on to a new challenge, but that was easier said than done when dealing with my steamroller of a sister. "That's all she does," Quinn chimed in with a sing-song voice. "All work and no play, this one." As my business partner, you'd think she would have seen this as a positive thing. Millie made a faux sad face. "That doesn't sound like fun. You should come out with us one night." To be clear, I had plenty of friends to go out with. I just chose not to subject them to this particular form of torture. In fact, I was meeting my best friend Lola for brunch tomorrow, if I ever escaped this lion's den in one piece. And my friends didn't sharpen their knives while my back was turned. "Maybe when things calm down at work," I said.